I don't even know what Scientology is. I mean, it's basically a religion that was formed by a very mentally unstable individual, L. Ron Hubbard. And he was a whack job. He's literally, and I'm not making this up, you can fact check it yourself. He is literally credited as the author who has, in human history, written the most fiction. By volume, he crafted the most fiction of like any author that's on record. And then he also is quoted as saying, if anybody wants to, like, if you want to make real money, you need to start a religion. And then he went and happened to start a religion and make a ton of money. Really funny how that works. He's like, if you want to make any money in life, you just have to start a religion. Otherwise, it's taken by taxes. And then all of a sudden he creates a religion. Really weird. But Clearwater, Florida, they have a ton of real estate in Clearwater, Florida. The Church of Scientology is like super, super rich. It's freakishly wealthy. This is kind of cool. This is like a little breakdown. Clear takeover. Scientology came to downtown Clearwater in 1975, bought a hotel. So they own that building. Church's campus grew slowly over decades. Its members bought property in the surrounding blocks. You go to Clearwater, Florida, you will not realize most of that area, it's very wealthy. Very, very wealthy area. Everybody drives around. They have Lambos all over the place. It's super rich. But you wouldn't realize that the Church of Scientology basically owns the city. Like the church's footprint doubled in less than 3 years. Clearest in the heart of downtown. Yeah. Take away the church footprint and a few condos and buildings owned by the government. Look how little is left. All except this stuff. This stuff is still independently owned. Everything else is owned by Scientology. That's wild. All of these buildings are owned by Scientology. How insane is that? And what I'll say is, like, when I went to Clearwater, there's also just a ton of Scientology bookstores. There's people on the streets handing stuff out. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. The church's influence comes from its estimated $3 billion in cash and assets it's collected from its followers. However, Scientology has said it has 10 million followers, but surveys and accounts from former members suggest there are no more than 30,000 worldwide. It's wild. Sea Org members, so these are members. They dress in a very unique and particular way. It's crazy because, like, you think, oh, what would a member of Scientology look like? And they're just regular people. A lot of the time, they're people who just got caught up in something. They were looking for help, and then they got sucked in by the manipulation and stuff. And then they keep you captive. You can't get out because they basically, if you join and then your family join, if you leave, they sever the connection with your family. You can't talk to your wife anymore. You can't talk to your kids anymore. They cut you off entirely. So even if you don't really believe it anymore, you just kind of have to pretend like you do. It's crazy. Totally not, Sash. Hey, Luke, I have come here again to tell you I really like your videos and then disappear mysteriously. Well, I appreciate you. Totally. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. What is Scientology so normal in the US? I don't think it's normal. It's still considered, like, if you ask the average person, what do you think of Scientology? They're going to tell you it's insane. It's made up nonsense. However, yeah, this is the leader. He's a nut job. There's many reports from people who worked side by side with him for decades of him just like straight up assaulting people. He just beat the shit out of someone and nobody can do anything. It's insane. It's wild. But because he's basically the Pope, it would be like the Pope beating the ever living shit out of one of his like bishops. Who are you to question him? Like, you just have to put your head down and deal with it. It's madness. It's pretty crazy. But this whole thing, I mean, all of it, the average person is going to tell you that it's nonsense. It's completely made up garbage. But they have a lot of influence in Hollywood, and honestly, it was pretty brilliant. They went early on and they targeted people that were movie stars that were rich and had a lot of influence. And then they went to those people and said, if you want to be successful, you have to give us a lot of money. And so they did. And in exchange, those people got the backing of the church, which is basically, it's got throngs of basically slaves that make $10 a day working for these cult leaders and members. And it's all technically legal. And they officially got permission from the IRS to be labeled a church, so they don't pay taxes. And as you can see, with all the money they take in, they just buy more real estate. They buy more real estate. And then as they buy more real estate, they get more money over time, so then they buy more real estate. But honestly, once David Miscavige dies or retires, I don't think he'll ever retire. I think he'll probably die in his position in like 20, 30 years. I don't think he's going anywhere. This is him recently, apparently, though it's really hard to tell because he doesn't tend to get out much anymore. He doesn't really make himself available. But Scientology. But I think he is going, once he's gone, they're going to have to figure something out because they aren't getting new members. It's just going to slowly, like, people are going to die off slowly and leave the church slowly. And with the internet and Google and everything, it's not like it's going to grow. The age of information makes it harder for places and cults like Scientology to find success, not easier. So I think that they're only going to run into more and more trouble. Yeah, it's the guy whose wife went missing. Yeah, nobody's seen her in like 15 years or something. Little spooky. But you'll go in here. There was a really funny thing I actually saw from a guy. I can't remember his name. He also did a breakdown of like where he pretended to be a flat earther. Oh, it's this guy, Reckless Ben. Have you guys heard of Reckless Ben? He's like he's like a YouTube troll kind of guy. But he went in and infiltrated Scientology. He put on glasses, pretending to be somebody interested in joining, and then filmed his experiences going in there. And you hear what it's like to have somebody like try to get you kidnapped by the cult. It's crazy.
Investigate Scientology? Are you attempting to investigate Scientology?
What kind of glasses are these?
What kind of glasses are these?
Has he been filming?
Go back to the beginning.
All you have to do is follow the commands.
Oh my gosh. Ben Schneider has just joined the Sea Organization.
Like, he went into this meeting. They have like Sunday services because the church, to be considered a church, you have to have like regular meetings for religious purposes. So they go in here and like they have a statue of L. Ron Hubbard. The guy who founded the church was like a well-known domestic abuser, was a well-known fraud. He himself said he was insane. He was very, very unstable. They have a bust of him. And they all, like this whole group of people, stand in that room. And they do just like a standing ovation for 5 straight minutes. Where you're just supposed to stand there and clap for a very, very uncomfortable amount of time. He's been dead since like, what, the 80s or something? And you're just supposed to... It's freaking weird, dude. But they just, they go on and on and on. It's really strange. But all of these people, like, these people aren't stupid. These people are all very, very smart. They're very intelligent. This guy's name, the YouTuber, if you want to watch his series, Reckless Ben. Reckless Ben. I can pop the link to the first episode in chat here. Go give him a sub. He also did a breakdown where he it's really freaking funny. He found a flat earther. Opening outside, Reckless Ben. I haven't seen most of his. I saw the flat earther.
Saw the Harvard.
Yeah, and they convinced this flat earther that, which this guy's really well known. He did a bunch of debates. He would go to like elementary schools and then hand out flat earth flyers to children. Like, he's kind of a piece of crap. But he pretended to be a flat earther.
Daddy, chill.
Daddy, chill. And that he was a Harvard student. And then he flew this guy, Nathan, out. And they did this whole thing where they pretended like they accidentally proved the earth was flat. And they filmed the whole thing with like a whole plot line. It's pretty amazing.
Earth is flat.
put one magnet here in California. Seriously, I'm about to lose it. I'm getting pissed.
I don't know how you're gonna take a 1 mile piece of toilet paper and hit space.
I thought he was gonna die, dude. I literally thought he was gonna die. Wow. I was like, holy shit.
They're a complete shock.
I literally wanted to cry, dude. You can't write that stuff, guys. I'm just having my freaking world rocked. Shut the fuck up!
It's everything. I know I'm right. And I've always been right. You guys get it? You guys fucking get it?
If you have an afternoon and you just want to see some outrageously funny stuff, like you saw it there, they get him, the flat earther, to wear a duck suit because they convince him that's what they have to do to protect them from the magnets that they're using. So they all wear these duck suits when they cross through. And they all keep a totally straight face. And then they get him to wear it too. And like, it's outrageous, but it's just freaking funny. But he also went and then infiltrated Scientology.
Xenu is an alien on another planet that sent all the other aliens to Earth because of overpopulation. He froze them, sent them in spaceships, put them in a volcano. He hydrogen bombed the volcano, captured all the alien spirits, put them in human bodies, and that's why we're conscious today. That's actually what they believe. It's hilarious. We wanted to go do a Sunday service just to check it out and see what it was like.
Mine are going. Church of Scientology. Why do you guys have a cross? Because you guys don't believe in Jesus, do you?
No, this represents something else.
The only thing we knew about Scientology going into it was they believe in Xenu, and it costs like $100,000 a year just to like be a member of the church.
The one thing the Church of Scientology is known for, besides nonsense, is money.
So what's a Sunday service like in the most expensive church in the world?
Welcome to Sunday service.
We're going to give you a little exercise on control. With a group process by the same title, all you have to do is follow the commands. Shall we begin? Yeah. Sit in your chair. It's easy enough, isn't it? Sit in your chair. Very good. Sit in your chair. Very good. Sit in your chair. All right. Sit in your chair. Are you sitting in your chair?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Sit in your chair. That's right.
Not
Sit
crazy
in your
at all.
chair. Good. Sit in your chair. Okay. Sit in your chair. Good. Sit in your chair. All right. Now, are you sitting in your chair?
Yes.
Excellent. Sit in your chair. Thank you. Sit in your chair. Very good. Sit in your chair. All right. Sit in your chair. Good. Sit in your chair. The next command is quite similar. The auditing command is wear ahead. Got that? Wear ahead. Wear ahead. All right.
Wow.
All right. Let's do that again. Wear ahead. Wear ahead. Wear ahead. Wear ahead. Very good. Wear ahead. Thank you. Wear ahead. Okay. Wear ahead. Very good. Wear ahead. Good. Wear ahead. Okay. Once more. Wear ahead.
Just feel myself.
What the hell is even that?
Okay.
So this right here is why Scientology can legally call themselves a church. It's great. I love it.
I'm going to ask you.
Because they have a Sunday service where they perform rituals. Timestamp shows he's saying this every 5 to 7 seconds. Yeah, so in the full unedited footage, he says, we're ahead. Good. We're ahead. Good. Like, and he does that for like 10 minutes. Like, this is insane.
You have 2 feet. Is that all right? Okay. Have 2 feet. Have 2 feet. That's right. Have 2 feet. Good.
And basically, so if you're not familiar with like the core tenet of Scientology, basically what they are built on is this thing called auditing. Scientology auditing. And what they use are these little machines that have like these little canisters. My face is blocking it, but these little like canisters. Where's a good picture of it? Like these, where you hold the little cans, then it registers a thing. And by all accounts and measures, it probably measures. It probably accounts for like stress levels rising. Maybe it's not even clear what this machine does, but Scientology, for some people, they actually can find it helpful because they'll sit down, and basically what you do in an auditing session, which by the way costs like $400 or $500. It's like stupid expensive. But he gets into that. Eventually he hires them. He goes to an auditing session and does that and films it. It's really interesting. But he, what they do is they sit down and they have you hold these cans, and then they will do this type of very repetitive thing where they say, Imagine a time when you felt ashamed. Tell me about that time. Then you tell them about the time. They say, okay. Now I want you to imagine you peeing your pants in public. And I want you to imagine that being no big deal at all. 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 And they like bring this thing that you are uncomfortable with or stressed about or embarrassed by or whatever. And then they just repeat it into oblivion to the point where you're like, yeah, it's not a big deal. And you tune it out. And so for some people, it can be sort of helpful because they teach you and train you how to repress things effectively. And this was done because L. Ron Hubbard, he detested with a fiery passion psychologists and psychiatrists. He thought that it was a medical practice that was built to basically lie to people, tell them that they were crazy, and it caused more harm than good. And like he really, really hated it. And like it's Scientology in many ways is like the cure that this crazy person made instead of going and seeking actual help. And so it sounds insane and is crazy because it was made by a crazy person trying to justify their craziness. And that's what's kind of tragic about it. But you see it infecting and infesting all of these other people that are very, very smart and very capable. Like a lot of the people that are hired to this church, like they said, it's like $100,000 a year minimum. It costs around $500,000 to get to like OT3, operating Thetan level 3, which is not even like the max level. I think nowadays is like 10 or 11. They keep adding levels to keep people paying. But you have to be rich to be a member of Scientology like this, going to these services. Otherwise, you join the Sea Org and you're basically a slave. So if you're an actual member of the church, you're probably rich. So they attract a lot of smart, capable, wealthy people who are sometimes wealthy because they just inherited money. But a lot of the time it's like business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, actors, performers, stuff, people that have actually done stuff with their lives. And it attracts those types of people. So it's not that they're attracting stupid people. They're not. Like, these people are smart. They're very capable, but they just whittle them down with this nonsense.
Have 2 feet. There's another one. Have 2 feet. Have 2 feet. Have 2 feet.
Have 2 feet. Have 2 feet. It might be a rumor, but I heard the church uses audits done on its biggest high-profile members like Tom Cruise and John Travolta, and the information they give in those audits to keep them in the church. Like for John Travolta, it's believed that he told them he's a gay man, and it's recorded, and he stays in the church out of fear of it coming out. I think for Tom Cruise, he probably stays in the church because it gives him power. I think both of those are. I think that's completely accurate. I don't know if they've ever told John or Tom or any of those guys, if you leave, we're going to leak this. But I'm sure they're aware that the church has records of every personal thing that they've ever said. And that if they were to leave and become an enemy of the church, those things might just leak. It'd be a shame if all these documents leaked. And then everybody found out about all of those terrible things you did in high school or all the things that you're really embarrassed about. It'd be a shame. Yeah, John Travolta is like a hardcore Scientologist. There's videos of him talking about how inspired he is by L. Ron Hubbard. He thought it was brilliant and stuff. It's really crazy.
Have 2 feet. Have 2 feet. Okay, now have you obeyed that auditing command?
Yes.
Excellent.
Seth Rogen did an interview where he told a story about him and Judd Apatow going to Tom Cruise's house to discuss a project and how Tom tried to give them the Scientology spiel. I would love to have heard how that went. That's awesome. Imagine Seth Rogen, somebody trying to get him converted into a cult. That would have been so funny. Yeah, I believe that. I think Tom, at this point, everything he's done, I think he's a true believer. I think John Travolta got burnt out in it probably back in the 90s, because that's right around the time when he stopped really going to, or maybe early 2000s, because I think he did that film that flopped where he played like the villain trying to tell the story of Scientology. It was like a whole thing. But I don't think John's as into it. You don't see him talking about it publicly. You don't see him going and doing a ton of stuff. Battlefield Earth, yeah. I don't think you really see him doing that stuff much anymore, but Tom is still out in full force. But I think they asked Tom to calm down with his public advocacy talking about Scientology because they probably found out that it was actually not going too well.
I want you to let your body have a head. Let your body have a head. Good. Let your body have a head. Let your body have a head. Good. Let your body have a head. Let your body have a head. Let your body have a head. Now, the next auditing command is very difficult. We've all been trying to do it for a long time. Here's the command. B. That's right. B. Very good. B. Okay, let's do that again. B. All right. And again.
I'd love to know what this guy's thinking. Like, what is going through his head? Because as far as we know, he's like an actual believer. Or somebody at the very least interested. What is he thinking? I would love to know that. But like this whole thing, it's just like a very toxic, I guess, like, I think what it is they're trying to like backhandedly go and tell you like, oh, you can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You just have to realize it. But like, how is anybody sitting there and taking this seriously? It's amazing. I don't know. God, I feel like I'd laugh and they get burned at the stake. Yeah, I'd be terrified.
B. Okay. B. Very good. B. 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 Okay, let's do that again. B. 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 B.
Luke, is your head a part of your body or is your body part of your head? Neither. They're both a part of your neck.
B. Good. B. 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 So now fill the chair. Thank you. Look at the wall. All right, now we're going to do a communication process which is called hand mimicry.
We had to add a little bit of sound effects to this next part just to spice it up a little bit.
Feel free to mimic along if you like.
Okay, let's do
I'm
it.
going to make a
Everybody,
motion with my hand.
join
You
in.
make the motion with your hand.
Okay.
Here we go. We'll do it again. Good, you got that one?
You're mirroring, or are we doing exactly? He's putting his right hand out. Should I just mirror? Okay, I'll mirror. Okay.
Oh, switching it up.
And here's the next one.
Oh.
That's right. Excellent. Ready for the next one? Yeah. Pay attention. Here we go.
Oh, I hit the mic.
Excellent. All right. I want you to find a man.
You're a man.
Find a woman.
You're a man.
Good. Find a man.
Michael, you're my man.
Good. Touch a man.
You're my man.
Touch a woman. Touch a man.
You're my man.
He goes up to him.
Good. Touch a woman. Very good. Touch a man.
Oh no, that's his buddy. Okay, that's his buddy. It's not actually a stranger. That's his buddy. Okay. But like he has this way of just coming off as super genuine and energetic and excited. So he's like climbing over the chairs and stuff, and they don't care. They're like, oh, he's just really into it.
Don't move.
All right. Touch a man. Good.
I'm trying to touch everyone. Who haven't I touched yet?
Very good. That's the end of that process. End of session.
Yeah!
Scientology, baby! Woo! Go see now! Aren't those church services just incredible? They really get learned so much. They're really inspiring.
Hold on. What was the total time? 2:16 is when they wrapped up. When did they start? 2:16.
With a group process by the same title, all you have to do is follow the commands. Shall we begin?
Okay, where'd the
Sit in
timestamp
your
go?
chair.
2:16. So all told, they spent like 30 minutes doing random stuff like that. Half an hour of that. Dude, they cut that down into like 3 minutes for this video, but man.
Part 2.
Called processes that direct. Do you know what a thetan is by now?
No.
What is life? Like, literally, what are we doing here?
So that guy just didn't answer the question. So when I asked the next guy, this is what he said.
I was wondering, there's got to be some type of benefit to it. And there's a reason that we were doing it.
How do I explain this to you? Okay, so processing is another word for auditing. Okay? So L. Ron Hubbard developed a series of processes that you can do that address a whole group at the same time. And when you do that, different people will have different realizations or ideas or different, like, you know, maybe a pain will go away. Or
See you, Crimson.
You know, they'll have their own experiences with that. Each person can get what they get out of it, but that's the purpose of it. So obviously, you get what you get from it as a person. Okay? Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. So I'm glad that we finally got an answer. That made complete sense. It's completely logical. I feel much more.
I feel like that made no
more
sense.
now.
I feel like that actually made no sense. If you tried to use Scientology's logic in a real life situation, it would never work.
Really following along, can you tell me what 2 + 2 is?
How do I explain this to you? So, 2 is just another way of saying 2. And in mathematics, we've developed a series of processes in order to answer this problem.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. And you can use what you now know here through the process of addition, and that'll give you your answer. It's very easy.
Oh, okay. So, what's the answer then?
Before you can really understand this problem here, you need to understand what this word means. Have you bought your dictionary yet? It's only $25.
No, I don't have any cash on me.
Ah, that's fine. I take card too.
I actually don't even think I brought my wallet with me.
Well, you need this book, so just have your friend pay for you.
What do you mean? I'm the only person in this classroom.
Well, then what about Apple Pay?
Oh, no, I'm Team Android.
We can also exchange it for Bitcoin.
There's really no way that I can pay for your book right now.
Alright, let's just move on then. So 2 is the natural number following 1 and preceding 3.
Listen, I don't care. I just want to know what the answer is.
Okay, clearly you're not realizing anything here, so I drew you this graph to help you better understand.
No, I don't want to see any bar charts.
Then how about this pie chart?
No pie charts.
Well, then maybe this line graph will help you.
Okay, look, I don't get it. You're talking about a lot of things that go over my head, and I just don't understand. All I want to know is what 2 + 2 is. Like, what's the answer?
Look, I see that you don't get it, and that's fine. That's the great thing about math. It's different per person. You get what you get.
That's a great thing about math.
Well,
it's different per person.
I give up. I tried.
That's gonna be $2,500.
And that is Scientology in real life. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's the answer. Scientology doesn't work. But dude, that's how they get you to believe in things like Xenu, because this is their logic. Basically, we told them we were broke. So they said they would let us do our first auditing session for free. The next day comes, I had to do an interview to see if I was mentally ready for my audit.
Were you attempting to investigate Scientology?
No.
Do you have any sort of investigatory, like, frame of mind, journal?
Do you have an investigatory frame of mind? Insinuating if you are even thinking about just like exploring this, they don't want, like, they're not going to give you access. You don't get to do it. Like, they don't want people critically evaluating it skeptically. They don't want you looking at it even slightly. They're not going to tolerate it. It's very interesting, you know, that those little insinuations, but it reflects that they don't want the criticism. They don't want anybody doubting it or questioning it. They don't want people to come in and ask questions. You come in and then you just allow them to say whatever, and you just go along with it.
List, anything like that?
I don't think so.
Do you have anyone in your family who's connected to, like, any media or government, police, intelligence organizations?
No.
So maybe the CIA, FBI, MI6, Mossad.
Really? They were just interrogating. That's all it was. It wasn't an interview, it was an interrogation. That's what it was.
Do you have anybody in your life who doesn't like Scientology or doesn't like the fact that you're here or might object to it?
Maybe my parents.
Do they know that you've come into a Church of Scientology?
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't want to have a situation where your parents are, like, creating trouble for you. Have you...
Okay, if you ever are doing, like, anything, and the people, like, you're going to join a church or a chess club or something, and they immediately start by, are you a member of any skeptical organizations, media? Are you in the FBI or the CIA or law enforcement? Do you know anybody involved with the CIA, FBI, law enforcement? Like, I feel like if everything you're doing is above board, you don't need to check if somebody's a cop. You know, like it's like the To Catch a Predator stuff from way back in like the early 2000s with Chris Hansen. if you're not coming to meet like a 12-year-old, you don't need to check with the person you're chatting with online if you really think they're an adult. Are you a cop? Because that's usually a red flag. Exactly. Nobody. Exactly. That's usually an indication that something's probably off. And in this case, like, he's just so upfront. Is anyone in your family associated with media? So they might tell the story of you joining Scientology in a negative way. Are you actually like a police officer or involved with law enforcement? Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, at what point? It's what hurts me is that, like, the line level grunts, I think, like, these people, to be fair, they're able to attract two types of people to Scientology. The wealthy people who become like the upper class, and then the poor people who become the grunt workers. Because the only way this guy can continue to climb the ladder of the church is if he's doing the grunt work, because he doesn't have $100,000 to just pay for it. So he basically work studies like in college. He just works his tuition off, basically. So this guy, you know, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but if you ever find yourself saying the things he's saying very casually and confidently, you should really do some self-reflection, because you're in a cult. Like, if you begin to do the bidding of your your overlords to the point where you're checking if the people you're talking with are members of law enforcement, that's a problem. If my boss, back when I was working in real estate, if my boss told me, hey, before you talk to anybody on the phone, you need to make sure that they're not a regulator, they're not involved with law enforcement, and you know, we don't want to deal with that. If they are anybody involved with any sort of legal anything, or if they're a police officer or a judge or a lawyer, just hang up and call the next guy, because we don't want to deal with that. I'd be like, I'm not comfortable with that at all. That seems sketchy as hell. But this guy's just like, it's fine.
You watched or read or seen any like bad media about Scientology?
No.
So I'm not going to sit here and I don't want to encourage you to go look at things, but I will say that the only accurate information you're going to receive about Scientology, in my experience, because I have been subjected to many, many, many things, having been working in this office for about 10 years now. The only accurate information you're going to receive about Scientology is by being in a Scientology church and doing Scientology auditing.
So you think it wouldn't be a good idea for me to like Google Scientology?
So he's about to be like, hell no, do not Google Scientology. I think what I thought for a second he was about to say, I would say you should look, like, do your research on Scientology and then see if it's something you want to go with. Because maybe that was going to be like his way of saying, don't join. I can't say that because I'm in the cult, but don't join. Because he's married and his wife's probably in. He's not going to be able to get out if he leaves. But I think he's about to shut it down. Do not Google us. Oh, wait.
No. Just to be real with you.
After they found out I was mentally ready, I had to go in for my second interview. Interrogation.
Let's do this. So yeah, just hold it and then you can put it in your lap. This is the emitter, right? So basically, there's a needle. It's not an actual mass, and they get registered on the meter. This was found by L. Ron Hubbard. Current going through your body.
But why would he not be able to leave? Please enlighten my two brain cells. Well, for one, these people usually live in church quarters. You saw the list of like their real estate. So like in Clearwater, they have all these buildings that they own, and a lot of these are like condos and living spaces. So like this is probably a condo complex where somebody like this lives. He probably lives in one of these condos with a few roommates that they've been assigned in the church with his wife. You know, they probably live there together. And so if he were to leave, you got to remember all of his food, all of his boarding, everything is handled by the church. These people usually work for $5 to $10 a day that they can spend on incidental things that they might want, or they're encouraged to then spend that money on more auditing in Scientology. It's basically you become a willing slave. An indentured servant, as it were, to the Church of Scientology. So if he were to leave, he has nothing. He goes from having like a job, a wife, food, housing, to being homeless. Also, his wife, if she chooses to stay, if she's an actual believer, she will be taught that he is what's called an SP, which is a suppressive person. It's basically like having like you're a really good Catholic family and then one of your brothers becomes an atheist and starts telling you, hey, maybe this is all BS. They become somebody that you shun. You get rid of them. And in Scientology, it's an actual shunning. You're not allowed to talk to an SP. You're not allowed to text with them. You're not allowed to send them letters. You're not allowed to spend time with them. Even if they're a wife or a husband or a child. If you're a mother and your child becomes an SP, or if you become an SP, your child's cut off. You can't talk to them anymore. And so this whole thing, like, and it's sketchy because if he starts to have doubts and he goes to his wife and it's like in a moment of privacy, he says, hey, I'm not sure I believe this anymore. I think this is all BS. I think we should escape. If she's a true believer, she's told to then report him to the church. And then he'll be reported and he will be repositioned. They'll take him out of this area and move him to a different place in another state, across the country, or across the globe. And, you know, he could just walk out the door and run down the street. He could, but again, he's leaving everything behind. And if it's your wife, or if you have kids, you're leaving all that behind. That's how they get you trapped. Yeah, pretty terrifying hallmark of a cult. Exactly. That's why, like, you do need to have some sympathy for these, or some empathy for these people, because you never really know. They're like Leah Remini was saying before she left, she had a lot of moments of questioning where she was like very skeptical and she was not sure that she believed this, and there seemed to be a lot of BS, but she wasn't able to like vocalize it fully. Otherwise she would face the repercussions. So a lot of the people that you'll see in these cults and stuff that seem like true believers, you never know. They might be in the back of their minds going like, I don't know if I buy all this stuff. You know, you just never know.
Actually those things impinges on it and the current changes.
When the electricity goes to your body, it takes your thought and it moves the needle. You want to know how it actually works, Michael? When you squeeze the cans, it moves the needle.
There's no way.
But first we had to calibrate the machines.
I'm going to have you squeeze the cans very gently
That's
and relax it to the position where you started. So squeeze the cans, please. Thank you. Now let's do it much more gently, like very, very light. Squeeze the cans, please. Squeeze the cans, please. Squeeze the cans, please. A little more gentle.
See, I don't know if it'll actually pick it up.
It's called a pinch test. I'm going to pinch your arm. Look at the needle, okay?
Okay.
So it didn't move when he pinched my arm. I waited like 4 seconds and I was like, the joke's getting old, so I squeezed the cans just to play along with his game, and then the needle went up.
See that?
Oh yeah, it went up.
Good.
And then it gets even worse because he gives it away again.
You didn't squeeze it, right? You just
No.
stop.
Yeah.
And then it removes.
Yeah.
You see that?
You just gave away the answer to your trick. Like, you're the worst magician ever.
Now we're gonna do an interview. These are questions to make an auditing program for you. So
Okay.
we know what areas to address. Good. Do you have any concerns in life which you would like
Yeah, I think Leah Remini was born into it. Yeah. Kawaii Senpai, good to see you.
Remedy?
Doing
Yeah,
good.
so my friend and I,
We went down a rabbit hole and now we're in deep with Scientology. I don't know what
on
happened.
Craigslist, and he said he would give us $10 if we blew him. So me and my friend, it was actually 3 of us. We all 3 went in and we blew him. And
oh yeah. This was another thing. They went on Craigslist and they found really uncomfortable ads people had posted, and then they go and like this guy says, "I'll give you $10 if you blow me." So they went and found him.
we blew him, and the worst part is he didn't even give us the $10.
Wait, we have the
We
$10,
did it.
please.
What do you mean by blue?
We put it out on Craigslist, like, hey, we just want to blow someone, and
We just want to blow someone.
so like, hey, just give us $10. It's like, okay. So we blew him. We did it at Venice Beach.
Okay.
And what do you mean by blow?
You know what, like, blowing means, right?
Okay.
Okay.
I understand.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not gay, though. So. Yeah.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Thank you for telling me. Okay. Okay, good. Are you attempting to investigate
Dude, he's like, what is this guy talking about? This guy's crazy. He'll fit right in.
Scientology?
Do I look like someone that would investigate Scientology?
I don't think so, personally. Okay, cool. And you...
Are you going to investigate Scientology? Do I look like I do? To be fair, he does it. This is why he's so good at these undercover things. This is why he's so good at it. Because he just like, he has this very unassuming appearance where he can just go in and just roll with it. And also, the dude is freaking fearless. He's fearless. Like, he will just go in there. I'd be like, oh, well, are they going to sue me? Are they going to come at me for this, this, and this? He's like, I don't care. I'm just going to film it. Whatever. Sue me. Come at me, bro.
Come across any data unfavorable towards Scientology from the internet, news, TV, or any other sources?
Not yet. Like, what do you guys recommend? Like, should I research it and like?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
It's the worst thing.
Especially in Scientology.
You don't think it's good?
Wait, did he just say the worst thing you can do is investigate Scientology?
Not. It's the worst thing you could do.
It's the worst thing.
Especially in Scientology.
You don't think it's good to sometimes look at the negatives just to see like what their mindset is?
Yeah, we usually only deal with truths, which is only found when you observe it for yourself rather than reading someone else's thoughts.
We usually only deal with truths. And truth is defined as whatever I say. So, don't Google it.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Sounds
Now,
good.
do you have any books? Do you have the Dynetics book?
Not yet. My friend has my wallet in his car.
Is there a way we can purchase a book?
Yeah, just watch this. They swarm him to get the money. Like, some of the most aggressive, like pushy, you're going to give us money now that I've ever seen. And I was on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with those people that force you to take pictures with them. It's bad.
Wallet in his car.
Any books? Do you have the Dynetics book?
Not yet.
Yeah, Dianetics, by the way, is like the first book of the series that they make you read, written by L. Ron Hubbard. It's kind of like their Bible.
My friend has my wallet in his car.
Is there a way we can purchase a book from like Apple Pay?
I can just get a book next time also. If...
I would like to just get it now because I want you to start reading it. So we're trying to get a Dynetics book. So we're trying to get a Dynetics book. Well, if not, I guess tomorrow. I'm gonna be texting you, but I would like you to come in tomorrow so you can get Dynetics.
So are we done today then, or?
We're done for today.
The next day comes, and it's finally time for my audit.
She's now auditing somebody else.
Of course, I don't get my audit yet. I haven't paid them any money yet.
I want you to get the book.
I am not about to give this church any money. Instead, I just try to make them feel bad about it and test their morals.
How much do you have?
Oh, this is freaking hilarious. Get ready.
I only have like $100 left for this month, so if I do get this book, I'm gonna have to sacrifice it for food. So, you know, if there's any maybe cheaper people that might have bought the book that don't want it anymore, that are selling it secondhand on Amazon?
I don't think so. But we should maybe at least get you the book.
I saw there's a Scientology YouTube page.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to YouTube.
There's a whole Scientology YouTube page, though, isn't there? It's like Scientology's the one that created it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you don't trust the internet?
No. Scientology.org is the only official site.
And everything else is
It's
fake
not
news.
Fake.
It's all fake.
It's all fake. So you don't have it with you right now? You don't have anything with you right now?
No.
I have to get this book.
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, you need to bring like $25 and I want to get that book for you.
Because I asked them about YouTube, I think they were afraid I was gonna like research about Scientology. They want to show me another one of their propaganda videos about the dangers of the media.
So there is no good press. There is only bad press about everything.
There's only bad press about everything. Man, I have found, this is the thing. I have some people that I know, family members, some friends, who, let's just say, have this same mentality. All of the media is full of lies. And like, the moment that you start to dismiss representations of reality en masse, that's the moment when you allow yourself to just believe whatever you want. And that's the danger with it. Like, is it true that there's a lot of media manipulation? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But if you're going to say like, oh yeah, all media is all just deception. The whole thing is a lie. Everything everybody tells you is BS. You can only trust this one source. Alex Jones, or like, you can only trust this one source, Scientology. That's the moment you should realize you're in a cult. You got to wake up, because if anybody tells you they are the one source of the truth, they're trying to lie to you. Okay, it's not true.
This innocent guy just wanted to pick up a newspaper to read a little bit more about what's going on. What do you think's gonna happen to him? Boom! Guys running with guns. Boom! They're aiming at him. Go read the newspaper. This
Reading the newspaper, you're gonna get swatted. Look how quickly that escalates.
Daddy, chill.
Daddy, chill.
aiming at him. Go read the newspaper. This could be you. Oh my god.
Hold up. That was the thing. If you read a newspaper, like SWAT team's gonna kick down.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the propaganda of this video. It's craziness. After this, my worst fear in the entire world came true.
I mean, okay, first of all, what kind of glasses are these? I've never seen these kinds of glasses
These?
before.
Oh, I don't know. My friend and I, we just got them. We thought they looked cool.
Do they
It's a
have
style
cameras in
thing.
them?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what the side one was, because I've seen
Oh,
them where they
no.
have like, sometimes they're more obvious, they have like big cameras,
Uh-huh.
but because they're shiny too, so I was like, can you like take videos?
Oh, no.
Super cool.
That'd be cool.
I've seen that before.
Uh-huh.
And they can like press a button and it takes like a 20-second video.
Wait, those exist?
Yeah.
They can make a camera that small?
Yeah, it's in, the person I saw who had them, they had, it was really obvious. I mean, it wasn't like a camera, it didn't look like
Uh-huh.
a camera, but it had like circles on the sides, and you literally press
Oh, those are the Snapchat glasses.
Maybe.
They only made like 1,000 of them in the entire world or something. And they were like really rare.
See, I think that would be cool, not for Snapchat, but just in general.
Uh-huh.
Almost like the portable GoPro.
Yeah, maybe I should.
They're watching him. So he's already been flagged. And I don't know what their process is like, but it's probably like if somebody is resistant, if somebody's being like kind of difficult, they probably flag and then they start looking, okay, well, he's not going along with it. So either he's just like somebody who's really difficult that we don't like, or he's like trying to investigate us and is acting in bad faith. So we're going to boot him. There's something weird going on, you know?
That'd be cool, yeah, because then you can always have a POV.
What is that? Oh.
It's a point of view.
So she doesn't even know spy glasses exist.
Uh-huh.
That'd be legit. You
That'd be
can
cool.
invent that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get like tiny camera things.
Oh, we're back to them selling us this book.
Yes.
Oh, it always comes full circle.
Did you get the money for the book so you can start reading today and get ahead of your game?
Of course, we're not gonna just give up our money. We're not just gonna willingly give them money.
I'm like, I'm just here for my auditing session.
I don't know if $100 is going to be enough for me to like do this and eat. I don't know, what do you think? Should I buy
What's up, Nick? Good to see you.
the book anyways and just say screw it?
For sure.
Maybe I just won't eat for a couple of days and...
No, just do noodles. How about you should get
Do noodles.
today for sure.
Okay, I'll have to call Michael and maybe I can go to his work and... I should go all the way to his work and then pick up my wallet and come back. Okay. Sounds good.
So obviously I didn't go visit Michael at his work because I didn't want to pay them money. So a couple hours later I came back with some good news.
Great news. Incredible news.
But
This is awesome. Okay, ready.
good news though, I did find a book on Amazon for $2.99. The same book.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same?
No, it's
Well, it's called the same and it's by the same author. But I still need the main one.
yeah. You need to start getting courses.
Because they don't make money if you buy it secondhand. You have to buy it firsthand because then they make the money. You know? So they're so pushy. And like, I've worked in pushy sales environments where your bosses are like, you got to do this, dude. You got to do this, push it. And like, everybody's aware. Everybody knows it's BS. Like, yeah, you have to buy our first party whatever because it's way better than the third party thing that definitely does the same thing. For us, it was like TV mounts and like cables in like our luxury home theater space. Like, they had HDMI cables that were $300 for a cable, like a 2-foot cable, HDMI cable, $300. And they had all this marketing BS tied up in it. Oh, it's better insulated, so you'll get a clearer signal, and the video quality will be better. And it's total BS. And everybody sitting there in the training, all of my like coworkers and the other salesmen were like, it's a digital signal. Like, it works or it doesn't. Like, what are you talking about? Like, data packet loss is a thing, but either the signal is complete or the signal is corrupted. There's no middle ground where the signal is complete, corrupted, or you can have complete and ultra. Like, there's nothing like that. It's BS. And So like we all knew. So like we smiled and nodded, but like when it came to helping customers, we were like, yeah, screw that. That's all nonsense. So I would tell people, I was like, yeah, these are the most premium cables. If you want the nicest stuff, then this is what you can get. It's got like 10% silver coating in it. Some people think that that can cause a clearer audio signal if you have a lot of like electromagnetic interference in your walls, but it's really up to you. And the regular stuff that we have over on that shelf will also do the job just fine. And some people, because they were spending $10,000 on a home theater, they were like, oh, I'll get the nice cable, please. Are you calling me poor? I'll get the expensive cable, please. So some people still do it, to be clear, Imperium. Yeah, no, I sold one guy a $15,000 home theater setup, and he bought all high-end premium cables, Audio Quest cables, and he bought a lot of them. He bought a lot. He probably spent like over $1,000 on cables alone for his stuff. It's crazy. You gonna post this on the Luke Stevens live channel? Imagine the title: Luke bullies Scientology for an hour straight. Jacob, that's what we got to do. You got to call it Luke bullies Scientology for an hour straight. I love it.
Do courses. Just need to get a hold of your wallet.
Oh yeah. But anyway, what I was gonna say is the whole point of this is that I think they know, these underlings, like the grunt workers doing this and pushing this on him, they know that he could just buy the book on Amazon for $2.99 and it would be better for him and his situation as somebody broke. Like if they actually were trying to spread the good news of L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology, they wouldn't care that he's buying the book secondhand. The only way that maybe they are not aware of it is if they are actually that brainwashed that they think somebody is selling fake copies of Dianetics that are ludicrous. But even if that was the case, they would just go and provide their own certified used copies to get people, like, at least like a lot of Christians, you know, they will go and they'll give Bibles away for free. Like when I was growing up, we went to a church that did that every Christmas. They had, you know, pallets of these Bibles show up and then they would send them off and hand them off in the community and stuff. So like at least they were trying to act in like good faith and distribute the good news. But Scientology, yeah, they don't give a crap about that.
I told all these people that we were in a job search, we just haven't found a job yet.
If I were you, I would challenge myself and go and find a job tonight. Just stay out and go find a job.
Well, it's not really that easy.
I tried to explain to her that that's not how easy it is to get a job, that there's more steps than just that.
Because you apply, and then so I can go and like fill out applications tonight, and then what happens is I go and fill the application, they look at it, and if they want to interview me, I come in for an interview. If they like me, I have to come in for a second interview.
But what? Go back to these places and say, hey, I want to be your buster, just take me.
Well, I do say that.
Just go back again and again and again. If you decide right now, I'm going to find a job tonight, you find it. Not have any other thought, but I'm finding a job tonight. Without the application, it takes time, remove that from your mind and just say, I'm finding a job tonight.
Okay.
And you'll find
See, I think this is like the Tom Cruise mentality of like, oh, just do it. Just get out there and do it. But it doesn't really work that way. Like, yeah, be a go-getter, but you have to be reasonable about it. Like you aren't going to have the mentality of Tom Cruise and then go and all of a sudden become a movie star. Like it's going to be that in combination with a lot of other stuff and discipline that's going to make you successful. But this is like the self-help kind of thing that you see with some people where they read a self-help book and then like, oh, no, I'm going to achieve my dreams and go do it. And we all know those kinds of people. They're insufferable. Like Tom Cruise, but not a wealthy movie star, is one of the most annoying people on earth. Let's be completely real. Cheeto. He's one of the most annoying people on earth. That like it's the alpha try-hard, nonsense that you see. IGN, hold on, boop, bookmarks. It's this.
I've had enough of this. This punishment stuff is going to stop. You're not gonna tell.
Tom Cruise is like, I'm asserting my dominance. This ends now.
Tell me what I'm gonna do and not do. I am now the alpha.
That's not how this works. I am the teacher.
The alpha takes priority over the teacher. The alpha takes priority over everything. Do you not know how that works?
The teacher is telling the alpha to sit in this seat right now.
And the alpha doesn't have to listen to orders from its lower.
Well, you don't have to listen, but the consequences that follow are going to still apply to the alpha.
The alpha doesn't take punishment.
Let's see how well that works out for you, okay?
Getting out of hand. Let's see how well that works out for you. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to make my dreams a reality. I will assert my dominance by being the alpha. It's like, okay, well, you just lost me. You're insufferable. It's painful. Oh, he sounds just like the ROTC kid videos. Yeah, well, it's again, like people who just hear BS and then think that that's just like, oh, yeah, well, that's all you need. That's all you need. Oh, man. Just Do It video reminded me of this. What is this?
People remember heartwarming ads.
Oh,
so
ads.
You remember.
I remember ads. I use YouTube Premium all the time. Now I'm spoiled. Come on. Come on. The Forgotten Heroes of the Titanic. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I saw that one. The Forgotten Heroes.
Paste down my face, on my hair, on my shirt. She looks at me, and I'm looking at her. 1, 2, 3. Your life is your life. Somewhere there is light. The gods wait to delight in you. It meets the darkness. You're marvelous. Who's pretending to be? Who's pretending to be? Your life is your life. The forms, the repetitions. Don't let it be club. And it takes submission. You should get to the point where anyone else will quit. You're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Just do it. Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. The more often you do it, the more light there will be. The more light there will be.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I scored toothpaste in my mouth. I started to brush. She's looking.
I used to have a Chrome extension that had Shia pop up yelling, just do it on my screen in high school. That's awesome.
Black void between me and Shia LaBeouf. Paste down my face, on my hair, on my shirt. She looks at me, and I'm looking at her. I rub myself underwater, knowing for pleasure. Ebb and flow, expanding the pressure. Just do it, nothing is impossible. Just do it, yesterday you said tomorrow. Just do it, don't let your dreams be dreams. The more often you do it, the more light there will be. Just do it, nothing is impossible. Just do it, yesterday you said tomorrow.
That's pretty good.
Just do it, don't let your dreams be dreams. The more often you do it, the more light there will be.
The danger with a lot of these self-help things, also like Scientology, cults, all of this, is that a lot of like the people that come in and then lecture you about what you should do to make your life better, like they've made it so it's one of those things where it's sort of like chicken and the egg. Which came first? Were they successful because they followed this advice, or did they follow this? Or are they successful and now they're telling you to follow this advice, right? So like an example would be somebody like Tom Cruise becomes a movie star, super famous, super successful, or maybe John Travolta is the better example. Super successful, super famous and everything. And then he joins Scientology. And then he tells people, join Scientology to make your life better and to live a life like me. It's like, no, you like it wasn't Scientology that made you that. That came after. So it's not responsible. Maybe you think your life's better now with it. That's great. But it's not the reason. But then other cases, people are like, yeah, I maybe it's something weird. Like, oh, I run for 3 hours a day. And once I started doing that, I found success in life. Boom. It's like, okay, well, then at least you can say that that's why you found success, because you have a reason to think that it's why. But so often, like, you'll hear Shia LaBeouf be like, just do it. Chase your dreams. It's like, well, Shia, you come from a very wealthy family and your family had connections with other actors and directors. Or like Meryl Streep, I think she also was from a very wealthy family that was very well connected with Hollywood. Like, so like, and then they go and they lecture and you're like, just go out and chase your dreams. It's like, yeah, you chased your dreams to the house across the street where the executive producer lived, and then your mom like pushed them to cast you. Like, come on. He took my thing.